Okay, so the Ottawa Senators are being dinged a first-round draft pick due to a trade that got canceled by the Vegas Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks. Dadonov and his representation said, no, we have trade protection, they're on a no-trade list, so that trade was canceled by the NHL. That was on trade deadline as well, so he ended up staying with the Vegas Golden Knights for the remainder of that season. And he also did a pretty good job coming back from that. That being said, however, everybody continued to peg Vegas as the bad guys, the team and the organization that doesn't care about anybody, they'll do whatever it takes to win, which to a degree they did put themselves in that corner and created that rep for themselves already. I will give them credit around Jack Eichel and how they handled him and allowing him to get his surgeries. However, kudos to you in that. That's really awesome. But they also wanted to defend themselves and say, no, this one isn't on us. We were never informed of all the details around his contract during the original trade with Ottawa. So the league went in to investigate the matter over the last little bit, and it came to a conclusion that Ottawa is completely at fault, which I also agree with. Pierre Dorian, while the staff was pretty small in Ottawa at the time, he did have to play the job of several different people, and he didn't go through all the steps necessary. But man, for the penalty to be this big, I just think that's pretty harsh, especially after the last couple of years where certain things have come to light and certain things have happened, and at most we just see a fine or a slap on the wrist, where some other teams are maybe being forced to forfeit 3 draft picks. Ottawa now being forced to forfeit a first-round draft pick. It just feels like the league is making an example out of Ottawa for honestly not that big of a deal. And I mean that in the grand scheme of things, of some other things that have come to light recently. Now, Ottawa also calls out for a press conference in a little over an hour here. It sounds like it's going to be the end of the, Pierre Dorian era. At the time of Ottawa releasing that statement that they've got a presser in about an hour here, Vegas also has a statement of their own. They say, we appreciate the league's diligence on this matter and respect the decision. The club will have no further comment. Oh, and for those of you wondering, that first round pick, the decision will have to come within 24 hours of one of the next 3 draft lotteries of which first round pick that Ottawa wants to give up. Whether it's one of their 2 that they have this year, their pick next year, or their pick in 2026. Though their other pick they have this year, there's some stipulations between Detroit and Boston, I think, with the Bertuzzi trade. So if that pick doesn't get given to Ottawa this year, it'll be a first round pick next year. There's a couple of conditions there. All in all, to say, Ottawa's being dinged after just being dinged 41 games on Shane Pinto for a gambling violation. It's just been a rough couple weeks with Ottawa, and truth be told, man, I think this is way too harsh of a penalty on the Ottawa Senators. I'm pretty disappointed in the NHL.